Welcome to the Hollywood Outsider, an award-winning weekly entertainment podcast. On this very episode, we're going to discuss Tenet's indefinite delay again, reviews of Yes, God, Yes, and Cursed, and then we'll be cutting a rug as we discuss what it takes to make a great dance sequence. Get your shoes on. Let's get on with the show. My name is Aaron Peterson. Joining me today are my fellow host, Amanda Sink.
Hello, hello.
Hello. And we have a special guest this week as John is off reading. What is he reading? He's reading some book. The Dresden book.
The Dresden
right?
series. Yeah.
He has to take off a week from a podcast because he has to read. That's how bad he is at it. All right. And joining us is Tams or Tammy Plain.
What's up, mofos? How you doing?
Good. It's been a while. You haven't been on in a while. We've been trying to get you to come back for a while.
Yeah, I was looking at one of our old sessions. It was like 2018. I was like, shit.
Well, we were supposed to get together. A lot has happened. Movie theater stopped working. Our South by Festival, which we were going to meet up at again this year, was canceled.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least we saw you last year, though.
Yes, I was so drunk. And I want to say I'm going to apologize, but that was an open bar. That was free beer and free wine and very little sushi. So therefore, you got what you got. And I showed up on a scooter.
You did show up on a scooter.
Yes, I don't know how I did that, but it was fun. I was the only one who was doing scooters in my group.
That's always a good time. People go to South, as soon as they bring it back, whenever it is, I don't know when they're bringing it, but just bring it back. Can I ask you, you're in LA, so you are in the midst of some craziness there. I mean, a lot of the business out there is entertainment. Has that started up again yet? I mean, are they shooting anything yet, movie-wise?
If they're shooting, they're not really saying. A lot, the thing is, a lot of shooting that happens in LA, you don't see as many big film crews because they go mainly to Canada or to Atlanta and stuff like that. But I mean, by my job, I will always see film crews for like TV shows. And since I haven't been downtown LA since March, I don't think so. I really think that they are pretty much shut down. Literally, traffic has just started picking up in the last month. I want to say when we were trying to have our opening, and now we're kind of closing. And I just don't go out a lot. I go to the market occasionally, and I go to Starbucks as a way to get out of the house. I've in the dog park because Sirius needs to meet other dogs because she is very antisocial. So, like
Sirius, like Sirius Black?
Yes, she's named after Sirius Black.
Aww.
That's cute. That's cute. I have noticed because people are listening. I'm like, who cares about your dogs? Shh. I have noticed that our dog has severe separation anxiety now. So, like, if we leave the house, that dog just is a maniac. Honestly.
Yes.
It's going to be a real problem when people go back to work.
Yeah, because my mom said that she cries because I keep her in a crate when we leave the house, and if my mom's in her room, she's like, I can hear her crying, or she'll go to the door and she'll wait by the door. Aww. So it's going to be a mess because I've been home day after day, and they are going to have issues. I mean, that's why I try to kind of leave her at home, just like she'll know I do leave. Like she knows when I pick up my purse, she goes right to her crate and she chills. But it's going to be an issue. I'm like, oh God, I'm dreading the day. Yeah. I'm like, okay, kid, mama's off to work to get that kibble money. So.
Kibble money. All right. Well, I want to tell everybody before we get into everything, go to podcastawards.com because this is the last chance to vote for us for this year's podcast awards. If you would, that would be greatly appreciated. Go to podcastawards.com. Do the quick registration. Use a lame password. You don't have to get fancy. They're not asking for personal information. Then pick the Hollywood Outsider in People's Choice and TV Film. You can also pick Smirk for arts, and we have several other shows that we would recommend. You can find those on our website if you need help with that. Then check your email because they will verify your entry to make sure it's not spam. That's podcastawards.com. Also, when you do it, if you click to also be a judge, you can also vote for us again when they randomly select judges. See? It's a twofer. Help us out. Thank you so much. Podcastawards.com. Please do it. It ends at the end of this month, July 31st. So if you're hearing this after that, just don't do that. Just know that we appreciate the thought. Okay, let's get into our news roundup. And you know what? We're not going to do a whole bunch of news. All we're going to talk about is what's going on right now. The elephant in the room. Is Christopher Nolan not like the biggest tease ever in filmmaking at this point? Because Tenet is delayed again for the 47th time. This time indefinitely, they said. They'll be releasing a date soon. I don't know at what point it will come out. Many more films have been pushed back to next year. Mulan will be, I'm sure, by the time you hear this. So here's my question. When do you think movie theaters will actually be going again in America? Like, do you have a prediction at this point, or are you just frustrated with the constant new date nonsense?
It's kind of hard to say that there's a prediction just because everything changes so easily and so quickly.
I disagree. It hasn't changed at all. We're in the same spot we were in March.
Yeah, that's true. But they've given us hope way too many times.
Mm-hmm.
So people have been making predictions like, oh, yeah, this will stay, or no, this isn't going to stay. And it just, they get ready for it and then it doesn't happen. And so I'm really disappointed and I'm very worried about the movie theater industry as a whole. And, you know, there are some theater chains like AMC, for example, which has been a big news topic, and that they've secured some, you know, financial equity so that way they can stay alive, knowing that this would probably happen. But I'm a little sad that we can't put something in place where we can trust people to wear their masks. We can trust the movie theater chains to sanitize the theaters so that way people can come in and know that they're socially distanced from other groups, that there's limited capacity. You know, if they had to change their ventilation, that's taken care of. And we're not able to have that. I just think it's so bizarre that you can go bowling right now, but you can't go to a movie theater.
Bowling? People go bowling?
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I'm in a league, so that's how I know.
What are you, in the COVID league?
I think literally the closest bowling alley is like 45 minutes from me, so I don't know. But I think, hey, I thought I was going to be back in my office by now.
Yeah.
I'm going to say first of the year. We can see it. I'll tell you, because our numbers are so horrible, especially in California. We were doing really great at the beginning and people just got super lazy. People like to pretend that there's no pandemic. I like to pretend there's no pandemic. Hence why I go to Starbucks every weekend and then I put on my mask,
Yep.
you know, so when you're walking your dog and you putting on a mask, you cannot forget the pandemic, and people are acting like nothing's changed, and they're spreading it around, and they're having parties, and I didn't know this, like in the middle of even before we opened, there was big parties in the hills, because people couldn't stay at home. I'm like, okay, you guys got issues. So I see us not going back to anything normal until the beginning of the year. And if we get before the beginning of the year, that would be amazing. But I just don't trust people enough to have common sense. If we haven't had common sense in this late date, what makes you gonna? I don't know.
I mean,
and I don't think it's Nolan's fault. I think he's really was trying to fight for it. But
absolutely,
when you have states shutting you down and pushing back phases, he can't just say, everyone come to my apartment and watch my movie. He needs those theaters, and those theaters can't open, just like there's no concerts, there's no theaters.
Yeah, he's gotten to the point where he is the ultimate friend zone for me. It's just like when I was single, that's like that girl you always want. I kept asking around, oh yeah, we'll go out sometime. Yeah, we're going to go out soon. Never happen. You just keep your hopes alive until they're crushed. And then you're just sitting on a park bench crying. That's where I'm at with Nolan. I appreciate.
Well, it's a catch-22.
Because
the theaters aren't going to open until there's a new movie, and then the distribution companies aren't going to put out a new movie until the movie theaters are open. So it's like one of them has to give, and to me, it makes sense for the distribution companies to put their films out to give the theaters an opportunity to have something to come back to.
Put your smaller ones out. It doesn't have to be. I mean, Tenet is a $200 million movie. I get that. They don't want to lose money if they can't make it back. I mean, overseas Asian theaters are open, Yeah, Peninsula had a really good weekend. They said that they might start opening Tenet around the world first, which sucks for everybody. But I mean, I get it. If it's safer, do it. But distributors roll out some of the smaller movies. There's like a billion movies waiting.
People are bored. They'll go watch your stupid movies that aren't going to normally make money.
But it depends on where the theaters are open.
True.
My theaters are closed. So if yours are open, yay. But they're not. The way the financial part of it is, it's just almost a waste of money.
Yeah, I get that.
If California or New York or blah, 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 or Texas, Texas is pretty much closed. I don't know if they're open. I'm not going to speak for Texas, even though they have a huge number, but that's just another
I think they speak for themselves quite loudly. Yeah. I love Texas.
That's why I'm like, But I only like them once a week. Anyway, but it's I understand why they're not. Mm-hmm. I get it. They've already spent a lot of money advertising.
Yeah, I get it.
And back and forth. So they're just like, let's just wait, because everyone thought we would be better by now. No one thought we would be this far, that we'll be this bad at this point. No. I
mean, everybody was kind of assuming this would be done by now, honestly. I mean, like
Me
you
too.
said.
I'm not even joking. I really thought, I can go visit my dad. I was supposed to go visit my dad. I thought this was happening, and we're stuck. So when you can't even go to a theater just to get your mind off of it. Yeah, that's a huge thing. Mentally,
for me, it's a huge thing, because I can't get, and just try to explain this. A lot of people are like, well, just watch movies at home. For me, it is never going to be the same. And don't tell me your sound system's great. It's not comparable. I don't care how special you are, unless you're Tom Hanks. It's very much it removes me from the situation. So if I'm having a horrible day, I can go, the lights go out, I'm lost. I don't care how many people check their phones and everything else. I'm still lost. If I'm at home, I never feel like that. I just don't. I just don't.
And if you have that situation where, like me, where sometimes I can't watch new things. Mm-hmm. I have to watch something that I've seen a bazillion times.
Comfort
I
food.
know the lines. It's a comfort thing. And it's a mental exhaustion that I've had for years. That's why some movies I'm like, I haven't watched that because I can't watch anything new because I've missed it in a theater. So I have to, like, when I do watch something new, it's like I have had rituals to get me in that mindset. I've meditated. I've done 2 hours of yoga. I'm like, okay, let's do this. And I'll watch something, but I know, like, sometimes when I am feeling like I can't watch anything new, I'll still go to the theater, and I do lose myself. And I don't have that luxury right now. It's like I have to pump myself up to watch something new, and it's hard. And I get it, because that is your escape. That is your go-to, and it's like,
Definitely, I'm tired of people.
I won't call you addict, but it's your happy place.
No, I'm an addict. I'm an absolute addict. It's where I don't have to talk to people. I don't have to acknowledge their dumbness. I don't have to acknowledge people saying things that don't make any sense to me. I mean, there's a lot that goes into that for me personally. But I do want to get credit to Nolan for trying. The guy's trying to save cinema. He wants to be that first big blockbuster out of the gate that brings everybody rallying back. I admire his commitment to theaters. A lot of directors don't have that anymore. They just want to get their movie out, which I get as well. But he is committed to movie theaters. He's committed to film. I mean, he's one of the last great artistic directors. I mean, he really cares about film and the movie theater experience, which I love.
And that's why I feel it's not him. I think he's just pushed against a wall. Absolutely. And is out of his hands. And you can feel that. I don't feel it's him. I feel it's everything else around him. And I kind of feel bad, because he was super excited about getting his film out. And, you got Washington and his fine ass looking good with that beard. Rob Pattinson, look at little Denzel over there.
Robert Pattinson, I'm looking forward to him just doing a lot of stuff. He's a much better actor than people give him credit for. So I'm looking forward to
him. Yeah, and I'm very happy for him. I mean, considering how I used to obsess about that man. I am happy for him. Obsession aside, I've grown. Look at me.
Still
I've grown up. I'm no longer obsessed about it.
The other
I missed that.
The other thing, movie theaters aren't opening. I think we've covered that, but and nobody knows when it's going to be. I mean, we might even tweak how we do our show because theaters aren't open. Don't panic, anyone. But you also have TV. Normally we would be talking about fall TV right about now or in the next couple of weeks. I don't think you're going to have fall TV until January. I think it's going to be slow starting. There's going to be a lot of stops, a lot of starting up. Yellowstone had to move to another state to film their show. They had to go somewhere where there were less COVID cases. So, I mean, there's so much going on behind the scenes. I don't know what fall TV will even be like.
No, I'm not even confirming, but I think if they go, you have to basically go to another country. Like, if they get permission to go to Canada, they have to quarantine for 14 days automatically. They're tested constantly. I know this is not a regular television show, it's reality TV, but Real Housewives of Atlanta, they said that they are filming, but they're constantly tested, because in Atlanta it's a free-for-all, which scares the hell out of me for my sister. It's a free-for-all, so they can film out there. So people might go to Atlanta, but just quarantine and test like there's no tomorrow.
It could happen. It'll be interesting. I mean, we've got so much to... I don't know. I'm doing a lot of heavy sighing here because the whole thing just makes me sad.
We are here for you.
I
This is your therapy moment.
My safe spot.
As someone who likes therapy now, it's okay.
So you're saying no one's not friend zoning me. He's just doing the best he can. He just can't find time.
Yes. He's on punishment. That's what it is. Yeah. He's on punishment. And it's not, he's not no friend zone. He's on punishment, and they took away his phone, his internet, everything. So he just can't talk.
He's grounded. He's in a timeout.
He's quarantined.
He is quarantined. Poor guy. Just looking outside, sad. Although his theater probably rivals an actual movie theater, I would guess.
Yeah. You know it does. Come on.
You know what? Let's go to something more fun. I think it's fun. We're going to do a new game called Cancel It. Cancel culture is everywhere. Everybody wants to cancel everything. They don't like something. Cancel it. Make them go away. Well, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to find something in movies or TV that really needs to be canceled. It could be a cliche. It could be something like twins. Always get rid of twins. I hate twins. Knock that out real quick. Cancel that. Or just a series that you find ridiculous. Whatever it is, let's just try to have some, like, what really should be canceled? Tammy, you can go first. What should be canceled?
A TV show that should be canceled is probably Riverdale. I don't get
Ouch.
it.
Why?
Like, you never liked it, or you watched it?
I loved the first season.
Okay.
I love the first season. And after season, I tried again in season 2. And sometimes I'll go back and I'm like, oh, never mind.
Same.
I'm
never
like,
mind.
gotta go.
Yeah.
After season 1, Riverdale just went in this weird place, and I could never get back into it. And it just got crazier and crazier. And sometimes when I hear that they're still on, I'm like, really? What the fuck?
I couldn't get back into season 2 either. I watched season 1. I watched most of season 2, but it took me a very long time. And like going back to season 2 just to be able to try to get through it.
And I was like, that's painful. I should not waste my time and be that irritable. No, TV should leave me happy and like, oh, okay, I'm going to go to bed. Bliss, bliss, bliss. No, when you're sitting there like angry and just...
Those kids have
talk to people.
So many things happen to those kids. It's just weird. Like,
yeah.
Just, too bad.
Way too much time and money.
Exactly. Amanda, what about you? What do you say? Cancel it.
I want to cancel the whole... When somebody's on the phone, they're literally calling someone, and then they don't say goodbye. They just hang up the phone. I want to cancel that. I don't want to cancel cell phone calls in general, but I do want to cancel this rude, abrupt, like, hang up on people.
Yeah, that's pretty awful. It's rude.
And it's for no reason. Like, if you're mad at someone, go ahead and hang up on them. But if you just want to hang up because that's what you presume to be the end of the conversation, guess what? You're going to get a follow-up call from me because you shouldn't have hung up on me.
It's just rude. It's so rude. And everybody does it. And I love when they do it in a drastic situation. Like, oh my God, I just found out that the nukes are coming for you, man. Are you okay? Yeah. Okay. Click. What? That's it?
Like,
give me some deets.
But that means the nukes came and took you. That's what I'm going to think. I'm going to think the nukes got you because you didn't say bye. I got to go. It's just like, that's it. But they always say hello or they give their name.
Yeah.
So it's one of the two.
Bauer. This is Bauer. Okay. Nukes are coming. All right. Jack, are you still? I guess we're dead. Are we dead? I think we're dead. Somebody's going to think that.
Like, all right,
I don't have to work on this anymore. It's done.
Like, it's over.
He's done. Mine is anything that's Real Housewives, because there's nothing about them that I feel is real. A lot of them are plastic, for that matter. And unless there's episodes where they're, devoted to telling your husband that you have a headache or why you shouldn't hang out with Gary because Gary's an awful friend, I just don't feel like it's really real. And it's annoying. I've flipped on these things a couple times, and every time I turn them on, I want to throw my TV out the window. Tammy,
you mentioned Real Housewives. I don't know if you because you like Real Housewives.
Tammy loves them. That's what I'm guessing. Tams loves them.
I also have a love-hate relationship with them. It's certain locations I watch Beverly Hills, OC, and Atlanta. And
you got a list.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, she's big into this.
But there's certain seasons I don't watch. I'm like, I'm off you guys because it could be a little too much. And I'm like, okay. I mean, because if I was to act like that in public,
you'd be in jail.
I'll be in jail.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I can't be screaming at people even though I want to. I can't be like just having a drunken, well, I have done that. But there's certain things you just can't do. And I just can't see myself being in a friendship with somebody who drives me absolutely bonkers, or like Aaron was saying, sometimes it is fake because they have no storyline.
Yeah.
And, they create one, you're just like, what the, you are so boring. Why are you on TV? So there's that. And
no reality show is really real. Just, they're all told what to do. I mean,
I've seen one taped and they did that scene in front of me while I was trying to get my hot dog. They cut in front of me, and then they were like, they had to redo the scene like 6 times. I was like, my hot dog is ready. Move. And I had to wait till they were done getting that scene. And then they left. And I was like, you mother.
Yep.
So
that's the realness of it. They don't care about you. So that's the realness.
That's where it hurts, man. Because I put a lot.
I put all my.
You were hungry.
You understand, when there is a food truck on Melrose and is the most talked about food truck, that hot dog on the internet, and all of a sudden you can't get your hot dog and there's a line and you've been waiting in line for 30 minutes. Tell me how you would feel by the time you can't get your hot dog 20 minutes later after that.
Violently angry. That's what I would be, because
somebody would be losing their head and their toes.
Somebody was calling people mofos from the side. Like, will you please hurry up? Because nobody's going to watch this show. I guarantee it. And I was right.
All right. Well, our show is independently funded. Therefore, all the expenses come out of our own pockets.
Wait, what are you canceling?
Oh, I didn't. I said Real Housewives.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, you went first. You usually don't go first.
I went last, Amanda. I just went.
I went first.
Oh, right. You just said that. Okay. Never mind.
I also want to cancel Amanda's attention deficit disorder. Jeez. All right, Patreon. That's how we pay for this podcast. So everything that you guys can do to support the show, we do appreciate it. Once you sign up, you get immediate access to all the content in your respective tier. And that's patreon.com/The Hollywood Outsider. We have a Wedding Crashers episode up there. We have the Back to the Future trilogy episode that's on there. And what do we also have? We also have behind the scenes of episode 400. So there's some fun that's on there as well. So check that out. All right. Spoiler-free reviews. We got 2 of them this week. One is for Yes, God, Yes! July 24th. Comes on virtual theatrical, which it's mostly like VOD. So here's what it is. Amanda and I both saw this at South by a year and a half ago. I mean, that's how long it's been since this movie released in festivals, but it's finally getting released. It's about a young teenage girl attending a Catholic school in the early 2000s. Her name's Alice. Natalia Dyer from Stranger Things plays her, and she must face the daily angst that a high school ushers in when surrounded by petulant girls. Confronted by false rumors and confused by her sexual thoughts, she silently comes to grips with the complexity of life as a teenager in a society and religion that forces her to limit appreciation for herself. And in case you're not paying attention, that means masturbation. Yes, God.
That would be it. Yeah.
That's what it's about. Amanda, this is based on director Karen Main's real life experiences, and you were telling me you went to a Catholic high school. So is this more fact than fiction?
Well, when you're talking about the concept of sexuality and the full appreciation of oneself, and that may include understanding yourself physically and sexually, yes, there's definitely some repression there where it's something that you completely save until marriage, which is fine if that's your belief, but there's no real growth and progression of that as you're growing up, or a real understanding of who you are. And my personal beliefs definitely did not align with the Catholic teachings, and masturbation is certainly something that is kind of like, I don't want to say stigmatized, but it's definitely an off topic. Like, you just don't talk about it unless you're like a dude. Women are not allowed to talk about this, and it's considered more sinful.
Which is weird because in The Exorcist, she was masturbating in that movie a lot.
Which is a horror movie.
Sorry.
Oh my goodness. So
maybe I misunderstood that movie.
I think you might have, but yeah, it's certainly a topic that does not get discussed enough for women, and it's an experience that most women are going to go through, where they're going to feel uncomfortable, but they're going to want to learn about themselves and their body, and they're going to have these feelings and urges, and what are they going to do about them?
And in your written review, you said the film delivered a subtle commentary on what it's like to grow up as a woman, how limited acknowledging your own sexuality as a female is, and how damning and hypocritical those limitations can become. How so?
So when you're a woman and you're growing up, you don't have the same freedom of sexuality that others might. Like, if you're a male, it's more accepted for you to be sexual, and you're encouraged for your successes, like, oh, you snagged that hot girl, nice going. For women,
that's not true. Men are not.
Oh, it's not?
No, okay, it's true. Tammy, do you concur with this female argument that she's making here?
Do I believe it? Yeah.
Okay. All right, just checking.
Think about it. Women don't really, it's okay now, but back in the day when I was 16, we didn't talk about that stuff. It wasn't until I was like, you know what, fuck it. I like sex. I'm a trisexual. Sorry.
The concept of masturbation alone, like, that is not something that there are conversations about. And it's not like, it's something that was considered weird if you were a kid. Like, even by your peers, you would be the weird girl if you were talking about masturbating, or
really?
You were yes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. You don't talk about masturbation until you go to a party to sell dildos.
And you get a lot of invites, and it's because they want a discount that you got that invite.
Exactly. And then you really don't really talk about it. You just kind of like, do you want to buy one? I made cookies and donuts for a sex party once. So it's a weird thing, but we really did not talk about it. It was like, yeah, we do this, but shh. You're going to use these toys with your friends, that type of.
It's not even a conversation that you have with your friends.
Hang on, I totally assumed those parties were completely different than you explained. There's snacks?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Because you got it when you drink, because you got to be taking shots, and then you're going to have your penis type cookies and donuts and things like that, and cakes. So, the little veins and.
All right.
And the girly parts. Oh, you don't have parties like that? See, that's where the guys are missing it. Because women, we're like, you know what? If we're going to do this, we're going to do this right. But we won't talk about it, but we're going to show you. So, you sit there and you like, that stuff.
No, what guys do is they go to a strip club and for some reason feel like those women are actually interested. They're not.
Oh, yeah, they love them.
Yeah.
And they go with their friends, but then they want to be like, no homo, man, don't touch me. What?
Like, seriously, dude?
Yep.
You want to go to a place and get an erection next to your best friend, but...
All right, you're making this weird. Back to your movie.
It could be so much more fun if you just be happy. Sorry. Flashbacks of life. Okay, go on.
Go on, Amanda. Sorry. I feel like I cut you off a couple times.
You didn't. Oh. I think Tammy and I are on the same page that we understand that it doesn't matter how old you were, when you grew up. It was just something that is not a natural conversation. There is something about, and then there's something about being sexually liberated where you can feel comfortable with yourself. And it doesn't mean that you have to go out there and sleep with a ton of people, or you have to go out there and sleep with just one person. It's whatever you feel comfortable with, but it's knowing your own body and like being able to know what pleasures you, so that way you know what your partner can use in the future to pleasure you. So like, but that's not something that women are taught or talked about, like your pleasure matters. And it's not. So this was a story that really, I don't know, it had that subtle discussion that like, this is important for you too. Sex isn't just to make babies, and it's not just to pleasure the man or woman that you're with, traditionally male though, especially if we're talking in a Catholic school, but it's for your pleasure too. Like you should be enjoying the experience. So how do you know what you're going to enjoy if you don't know what you like and you don't know what stimulates you? And you should know your body for every part of it, not just for, you know, if something's wrong. But then you know what, I mean, even like, this is going to go a little bit into it, but even like the female's discharge, like if you don't know your body.
Do we need to have this conversation right now?
It's part of it. Hey, that's part of sex, man. That's what gets you guys going.
That's cool. We're talking about a movie. It's not sex talk with Amanda.
But my point was, if you don't know what is good for you, like what your body feels like and what it looks like, then you're not going to know when something goes wrong either.
True. That's fair. And I will add to it from a guy's perspective. You know, when you go to South by, there's a ton of coming of age movies. I mean, I feel like that's half of them sometimes. This is definitely a coming of age tale, but it's something that I haven't seen done before. Like I haven't seen this story told, and it was really interesting. Like it was very funny. And also very moving. Natalia Dyer, I thought, was just wonderful in the lead. So I would recommend it too. I mean, it sounds like, you know, we're both on board. This was a really, really good movie.
Yeah, and it's got a little bit of a twist to it too. Some things that you might not have seen coming. It's not totally straightforward. There are a couple moments where you go, whoa.
It's very good.
So it's definitely one for you to check out if you're interested in that. And Natalia Dyer is great.
She is. So if $10 full price of admission?
$7.50.
And you know what's funny is we saw her, she walked right by us when she is a small girl. She is so small, very small.
And
girl.
she also seems so reserved and shy, but when you watch her in her performances, she is so bold. Like I love how much confidence that she exudes in the type of character and role that she's in. But in person, I just feel like she's that really sweet, adorable, kind of shy girl that you like just want to hug, and she would totally hug you back when there's not coronavirus.
Or a great actor.
And I mean, or that too.
One of the two. Okay, so the other thing is Cursed. It's a Netflix series that I saw. You lead her away, Amanda.
In a retelling of the Arthurian legend, teenage sorceress Nimue joins forces with a young and charming mercenary named Arthur on a mission to save her people. So it's King Arthur again, but is it worth it with the dynamics changing a little bit here?
Yeah, I mean, it's King Arthur, but this is before King Arthur. Before the sword chose a man, it chose a queen. You know, it's one of those things. It's a play off the Merlin and King Arthur legend. It's kind of building to that. It's its own thing. I mean, it's fine, but I've seen this tale about a bazillion times. I wouldn't say that there's much newness here, except for you do have Catherine Langford as basically a witch. She's like a tree witch. She can control the ground and the roots and a lot of cool stuff.
Oh,
like
she's
that.
earthy. She's very earth-centered.
Yeah, she's like that tree in Evil Dead. You know, she's just all over the place. So it's an interesting concept.
Well, okay, speaking of Catherine Langford, if you don't remember the actress's name, she's the star of 13 Reasons Why.
Hannah Baker.
Yep. And she had a standout performance in 13 Reasons Why. So is the one here comparable? Does it top any charts or underwhelming?
She was wonderful in that show. I think she's a star. I mean, I have no doubts. Catherine Langford's a star. She deserves to have some property that takes her to another level. I just find her to be a very talented actress, and she covers a lot of range. And man, just watch 13 Reasons Why. She just blew me away in that show. Here, I don't know if she gets as much to do, but a lot of that has to do with the actual show, because here's a trick with Cursed, right? It is take any episode, and here's how the episode works. It's okay, then it's good, then it's bad, then it's good, then it's okay, then it's bad again. I mean, it just can't settle on a tone that's consistent. It feels like when you have shows like Game of Thrones and The Witcher and stuff like that, this just feels like a CW version of one of those shows. It reminds me of Reign in that respect. It reminds me of Reign, how Reign was trying to be Game of Thrones but couldn't quite get there. That this feels like it's trying to be The Witcher but can't quite get there.
So
Yep.
this is actually based on the comic from Frank Miller, and he served as an executive producer on it.
Mhm.
Did you get the feel that this was comic booky, or was it too cheesy to come off really bold and strong that way?
You don't have a choice but to know that it's comic booky because every transition is like a graphical artist representation of a segue. So the transitions are very comic book pages, basically. It's
Like an actual page turning?
no, not like an actual page turning. It's just like art comes on the screen to basically signify that we're in a different place, and it kind of blends together. And I find it actually kind of annoying. I don't think it works at all. But some people might love it. I mean, you know, they might love the artistry. They're a fan of the comic. Maybe it works great for them. It didn't work for me because I just kept going, can you do a normal transition? I don't need this. It just felt forced to me. So all in all, it's just an okay show.
So if the full price of admission were $10, what are you giving Cursed on Netflix?
$5. It's
Average.
It's okay. There's some cool stuff in it. There's a lot of not stuff that isn't cool. Or stuff that is not cool. Something like, however you word that correctly.
It's all right.
Yeah, I'll take a pass then.
Yeah, I mean, whatever you're into, I guess. But let's go to our From the Outside In topic. All right, what makes a great dance sequence? First up, I got to ask you guys, do you enjoy dance sequences or does it take you out of whatever you are watching? It's a very important question, Tammy.
Tammy's dancing, so I think she enjoys it.
I like them, you know, if it's good and it adds to not even adds to the story, if it could just be like a comic relief, or if it could be just that moment of just whatever, and it just you always think of that scene like, oh, so I don't mind them.
Do you prefer
like
their
them.
musical number, like it's an actual musical, or do you prefer the dance sequences where you don't expect it, I guess?
I could take both.
Really?
It also depends. Like some movies where there's musicals, I go to see the artistry, you know, and then if it's just unexpected, it's also like, you know, hey, you got $10 off a new pair of jeans. You know, it's that happy moment of, oh, I got something special out of my movie. So it's just, especially if it's good, and you know, I work with that. I'm like, okay, I can live with that. You know, I think about it. But I'm one of those people that just enjoy it.
Is a lot of it because you love the music part of it, or you just dancing makes you feel good?
I would say like a year ago, I would say, oh, it'd be the music, but I think it's a freedom of expression. And I think being censored and just expressing yourself is just great. So I'm like, if you want to express yourself in a moment of, I don't give a crap, I'm going to just sit here and do a slut drop. Let's do it. You know, just drop to the bottom.
Shake the booty.
Yes. And get back up. And because you had to get it out, I'm down. Let's do it. So I'm the person in the grocery store that's like weird like that. So
Are you telling us that you do these slut drops in the grocery store?
I'm trying. That's why I got into yoga. Because I was trying to do this.
Is that really what it's called? Because I don't think I can call that without getting.
Well, that's what
internet.
Ali Alexander from Years and Years call it. But I found like there was a yoga pose that kind of gets you into it, and so that was my goal. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get into that drop. But he calls it slut drop because he does it on stage like every other song. So
That's hysterical. Amanda, what about you?
I like dance sequences, but it kind of depends. Like, it sounds like Tammy really enjoys them however they come, and she'll take it in. It has to fit it. Now, dance movies,
Like Step Up and stuff like that?
Yeah, I'm more specific with it, though. Like, there are some of them where it's just about them going through ballet or whatever, and those ones I'm not as drawn to. But if it's like a competition, like a dance battle or something like that, I'm into that. Like, Step Up was great. Step Up 2, actually, we'll talk about that later. But those are the ones that I get more drawn to because I like I like the hip hop music. I think that the choreography can come out so much more incredible, like not to discredit any other type of dance. This is just what I'm drawn to. And it's just more fun. Like they get to do more crazy stuff. And I love to see people do things that seem impossible.
See, I get into it if it's not normal. I mean, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. If it is normal, like musicals to me, every time they start dancing, I'm just like, what the fuck what are you doing? Like, that just makes no sense. Hey, you know what? I'm going to go to this candy store and then give me a lollipop. I've got a lollipop. And then they just start dancing and 400 people join them in the street. I hate that. I don't want anything.
That's like flash mobs. I love flash mobs.
Don't like
that
it.
doesn't happen to you?
I don't.
I go to liquor store all the time.
Never happened.
Like,
Give me
in the middle of the
Bacardi.
street.
Give me Bacardi. Let me drink it down. No, it's never happened to me. I watched
so
Zoe's
sad.
Infinite Playlist. A lot of people rave about that show. I can't do it because people are just randomly singing stuff. And it's just like, what? That's ridiculous to me. There's exceptions. I mean, like Greatest Showman. That's one. Obviously, that's one that kind of gets, I love that movie. Sweeney Todd. I mean, there's a couple exceptions, but mostly I just don't like musicals in that respect. But if it's one of those like out of left field deals, I mean, Risky Business is a movie. I don't like the movie, but when Tom Cruise comes running out there, like, put those records up on the shit, you know, when that starts,
Iconic, right?
I love
I think
that.
that's what sold the movie.
It's what made the movie worth
That's the only
watching.
part I like, actually.
Yeah,
It's the only part people remember.
that's the only part I like too. The movie sucked. I don't like that movie
I
at
don't
all.
remember the movie. I just know that part.
It's just like, I didn't like that movie at all. But that's a fantastic scene. You know, there's other Ferris Bueller, Twist and Shout. Like, that's the best moment of the whole movie for me, is just because this ridiculous float musical / dance number. I just love it. Like, that takes me out of Magic Mike. I shouldn't like Magic Mike. I'm a very straight man, but I love the dancing in those movies. I think
yes.
the dancing is fantastic and it fits. Like, it's a movie about male strippers. There should be male stripping dancing.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. Every woman agrees. Every woman agrees. And every time it happens, like, it's hard not to smile, even though sexually it doesn't do anything for me, but I find it just like fascinating to watch how well they move and how well, I don't want to get anybody worked up or anything, but just how well they writhe around. Like, it's great. I love when it fits.
Sexual craziness aside, I get that.
Do you? I mean, if it fits, it fits.
I put in a different category. Yeah, I totally get that.
Man, Channing Tatum, I would watch him dance in whatever he wanted to do. For whatever reason, that guy just has a fluidity to him that most people just do not have that dance.
I mean, even how popular Tom Holland's dance was, where he did the Singing in the Rain and then Rihanna recreation of Umbrella.
Okay, I didn't see that.
It's not movie, but it was part of the TV show where they have the dancing and stuff. But that became something where people are just so crazy talented and you have no idea until they just randomly show you.
Lip sync.
And you're like, what?
Yeah.
Talent. I mean, if you get the right person doing a dance sequence, and it's, to me, if it's not a music, like, it just comes out of nowhere, for some reason, I can't stop smiling for those. I don't know why. And I wonder, like, what for you makes it great, though? Do you know, Amanda? Do you know why those things that you do love, why they work for you? Is it just getting lost in it, or is it because it's...
No, I wouldn't say that I've ever gotten, like, tranced by a dance scene or just completely lost in it. The moments where they do something that I could not physically imagine myself being capable, no matter how much I train to do something like that, that's what impresses me, and that's what keeps me around, is when I can look at that and be like, wow, I did not expect this. This is so impressive. This is so cool. You know, like, you can feel the passion radiating off of them, and I love to see that. Like, you're watching people who really know what they're doing, and they love to be doing what they're doing. And that can kind of rub off on you. And so that's the stuff that I like about it. That's what makes it great for me. It really comes down to the choreography and the passion.
Yeah, I agree. Believe it or not, I can't dance.
What?
I know.
You go to concerts all the time. You're always talking about music, and you can't dance?
Oh, God, I have no rhythm. But I can shoulder bounce like there's no tomorrow. Like, what? But I can't dance, and I think I admire anyone who can move their body in a certain way, who can get their leg up higher than their waist to the sky. I mean, that's amazing. And
belly dancers.
Oh my
That's
God.
amazing.
I just, how do you make your body just look like a wave? And you just sit there, how do you do that? And it's beautiful. And I'm more or less like, I just see the beauty of it. And no matter, it can be just like a house party scene. It could be anything. And I just, if I feel like they really know how to do it, it's great. But if I feel like they just were cast for it just because they had a cute face, I'm like, But I like the body double.
Oh man, yeah, you can tell. You feel bad when an actor gets a dance sequence and they have very little rhythm. They're just trying so hard.
And they're super stiff, and you're like, oh.
Like, I'll be honest. I mean, Dirty Dancing's a great film for a lot of people. I don't think Jennifer Grey's that great a dancer. I just don't.
No, I agree.
Yeah. But Patrick Swayze, dude, rhythm.
Yeah,
all
he's
over the
great.
place. Yeah. But her, it's like Dirty Dancing. I'm like, it's more like just lame, really, really lame dancing. I mean, there's nothing dirty.
Or something that connects you with other people, like the other people in the scene or the movie. Like for Breakfast Club, this is one of my examples. When they're not together, they're not doing anything that's incredible, but it's something that connects all of them together.
That was great.
And it makes you, I don't know, it just makes you feel good for them because you can tell that they're feeling good. Like they've been going through a moment of hardness. Oh, I even remember when there's, I think it's in P.S. I Love You, and she's having a really horrible time. I mean, Grey's Anatomy has done this too. People who are in a really sad space, and then they start dancing to feel better, and they do start feeling better, and you can see them smiling. I love moments like that too. That's another way to incorporate dance, where it shows you kind of the value of dancing and the value of the arts. It's another form of expression, like Tammy said, and it makes people feel good. And it's
sheer
something
joy.
That, yeah.
The world needs more dance sequences, I think.
Oh, don't worry. When you write that script, you just throw a couple in there.
I'm going to. It's just going to be random. It's going to be. I'm going to write a horror movie, and there's going to be a dance sequence in the middle with the killer.
Hey, sometimes when somebody's after you with the hatchet, you gotta dance.
Like,
Do a slut drop.
You know, yeah, that's how you get rid of it. Like, you can't get me. You can't get me because you dip it. You dip it low. There's your scene, Aaron.
Man, serial killer slut drop. I'm gonna get that. I'll work it out. All right. So, what are your favorites? Like, which dance sequence? Like for you, as soon as this topic came up, you're just like, those are the ones. Team.
I'll go first. Okay. Yeah. I have a couple. Okay. So there's House Party. The dance off between Kid and Play and Tisha Campbell and AJ.
Right.
Yes.
I thought that's how high school was going to be. So I was trying to learn how to dance, and I wanted that yellow outfit that AJ was wearing. Mm-hmm. And what happens when you go to high school and you're an introvert? That doesn't happen. You don't go to those parties. So
no.
I wanted that dance off. That's like when I thought of it, when we started talking about this, I was like, oh, that was my favorite scene. Tap, because I have a secret love for tap dance. The challenge scene when Sammy Davis is like, oh, you challenging me? And he's like, oh, what's a challenge? And then all the old timers come in, and Gregory Hines is like, y'all, I didn't mean this, but
Gregory Hines
they just
great
tap, and you just feel the history of tap in their legs. And I was just like, oh, why can't I tap, dear? And then I called my father and say, you didn't give me tap lessons, so we're having an argument. Because I do that sometimes. I still blame him for shit. You know,
he's a great mention, Gregory Hines, because he did White Nights too with Mikhail Baryshnikov.
Yes.
That's a guy, I knew him from Running Scared. So, and then I watched those two movies after Running Scared, and this guy is super talented. Like, he is such a great dancer. But I never would have known. I never would have even thought of that if he wouldn't have done those movies. Because he always seemed like a very tall, lanky guy.
Yeah, I saw an interview with Sammy Davis Jr. who said that. He's like, I stole all my moves, but he said Gregory Hines has a whole entire style. So he always felt Gregory Hines was better than him. And I thought that was like, wow, that's deep. When Sammy Davis Jr. tells you, you better than me? I was like, oh, shit.
I put that on my headstone.
I know. And my last one is Love Actually with Hugh Grant dancing through the house after he gets his dedication of Jump by the Pointer Sisters. That is me everywhere. I'm at the CVS game, my pharmacy stuff, and I hear a song, I'm like, ooh, yeah. I'm at the grocery store bitten down for something. I will start dancing because I don't care. I need to be in this world. I need a little happiness. And if I dance like nobody's watching, I will. I take it very seriously. And yeah, occasionally I get the whole, no, people can see me. But I want to say a good 65% of the time, you will see me shoulder bopping and then try and go as low as I go. And then I realize I can't go that low and I get back up.
Tammy, I'll be honest with you. If more people would dance like nobody's watching, sing like nobody's listening, do all that when nobody's around. I think the world would just feel like a better place. Really?
Yeah, because you're in your zone, and it's, again, a form of expression. You're not trying to cater to what society wants you to be. You're catering to what you need to be.
Yep.
And that's the best. I think that's why probably all of us love movies and music, because it's a form of expression and we need to express ourselves somehow.
Here.
So,
good ones. All
those
good
are my
ones.
3.
Amanda, what do you got?
So it's hard to narrow down Fred Astaire to just one particular performance, but I feel like that's somebody that just has to be mentioned, and you can't not mention Fred.
I like how you said Fred like you know him. Yeah, you gotta mention Fred. You just got to. He's my boy.
You
Freddie
have
for
to.
family.
But did you guys watch Step Up 2?
Yeah. Yep.
The second one? Do you remember the dance scene where they start inside and then they go outside and it's pouring rain?
Yes, that was cool.
It was incredible. I was like mesmerized with this, and I just could not. I didn't think that it would be able to work as well as it did. And thinking about the logistics of filming this scene too, where they make that transition and then they're dancing and water, and it was just all incredible, and I loved it, and it was so passionate. And then another one that came to mind when this topic came up is from Burlesque.
Huh.
The whole movie, I love this movie.
Really? The Christina Aguilera one?
Yes.
I thought the movie was bad. Is it a good movie? I've never seen it.
I love it.
Okay.
I don't think it's a bad movie.
I was drunk.
Okay. Okay.
You were drunk during that movie, so you don't know if it was any good, is that what you were saying?
Sometimes, you have a few drinks for a movie, and
That's fair.
so
That's fair.
There's a scene where she starts off as this really shy character, but she really has a lot of passion, and she wants to be able to prove herself because she started from nothing and she's rising to this big something. And so she goes into this place and she memorizes all of the dance sequences. She goes in and they make her audition, and she does all of the dance scenes that they ask her. They say, hey, do this one, do that one, do this one. And she does all of them and she nails them. And people are like, what? Cher is like, what? And then you follow up, and this is like the second part of one of my favorite scenes. There's 2 from this movie. So there's that scene, and then there's a scene where she just like exudes sex appeal, confidence. Like she is just for it. And it's called Express. And there's all of these other back dancers who are in like these really, really perfectly lit areas, and they just appear there. And it's just very, like, I don't want to say erotic, but like it kind of is. But it's also really beautiful because the way that they move is so beautiful. Like it is, I don't know. It's just, they were made to dance.
I've never seen that movie. You kind of making me want to watch it, though.
I think it might still be on Netflix.
Is that where you saw it?
I saw it when it came out, but
I think it is on Netflix. I think my mom watched it recently.
It was on there not too long ago, so it might still be there.
Because I walked in and I'm like, you're watching Burlesque? Okay. I had to watch her movie intake because she's super Christian. And I'm like, I'm trying to remember. I was drunk. I was like, good luck.
I think Amanda's the only one that saw it in the theater then. Because I think Christina Aguilera didn't even see it in the theater. She's like, oh, wait.
Oh, that's mean.
She's not listening. Is Cher in that one too, right?
Yes.
Yep. Those 2 are the stars of it.
Okay. Good deal.
And one of the guys from Twilight.
Stanley Tucci's in it.
That's true.
Kristen Bell's in it.
Yes.
Mm.
And I forgot when I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot she was in that. So,
Mm-hmm. She plays a mean girl, though.
and
Okay.
I forgot she could sing. And I was like, oh yeah.
She did Frozen. I mean, she's been Frozen. Any other ones, Amanda?
Those were the tops of
Okay.
my list.
So I'm going to give you John Travolta. I think should get his own category. I just do. Saturday Night Fever, Staying Alive from that one. And you've got Grease, obviously. You've got Pulp Fiction, where they're dancing at the restaurant. I mean, just everything that he does where he has rhythm or he's expected to dance. There's a reason why people think John Travolta's a great dancer. He is. The guy's got rhythm. He just has rhythm. And I'll say this as a white man. Most of us don't have any rhythm, so we really look up to him. So it's nice to see him.
It's okay. I hear you.
It's true, right? I mean, it's true.
I feel you on that. I mean, as someone who has no rhythm, I get you.
You feel me on it?
I feel you on not being able to dance.
It sucks.
I relate to that. You know, it's like, it does suck because you want to move, but you have to move in your own special way. Like nobody's watching and you don't care. That's what you do. Okay.
Or you just get really drunk and dance.
Yeah, that's my favorite
That's
part.
what I do.
That's what I do too. And then you think you're good. And then everybody's like, Aaron.
Then they show you video and photos.
Yeah, Aaron, it's on YouTube. It's got 100,000 clips. I'm like, I was that good? No.
You were that funny.
You're that funny.
I won second place in an ass shaking contest one time, and I swear to you, my ego lasted for years beyond when it should have. Like it ended.
No, it should still be lasting. What are you talking about? That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You should still be like that. You should put that on your resume. Come on.
Put it.
Not many people can say that. So put
2010, I won the ass shaking contest.
Like, oh my God, let's all hire this girl because she can shake her ass. So
we need more asses
talent.
to shake in this office. We do.
You don't do that at your office?
No.
See,
That's why we're working from home. Okay. It got crazy.
I do it at home and I do it at work. Come on. I work for a law firm.
I love that.
That's funny. One big one for me is Rocky Horror Picture Show and the Time Warp and the Sweet Transvestite. Like both of those numbers to me are just fantastic, and I can't get enough of them. I will watch it every Halloween, and when those come on, people better shut up. I just want to watch it. It just makes me smile. Don't know why. Don't care why. Just love it. Absolutely love it.
It's fun.
And then, oh boy, there's two that I'm fairly certain kickstarted puberty and then carried me to the next level. There's two. And one of those is Grace Jones and Vamp. I don't know if anybody ever saw that movie but me.
That's not me. That was, if there was another person, it was not me or Tammy, apparently.
No, I missed that.
Well, it's a vampire movie. It's very moody. It's very 80s. But she does a dance scene, a stripper dance scene. And it's just, you can't take your eyes off her. And another one would be Salma Hayek and From Dusk Till Dawn. Same thing. Like, you just cannot take your eyes off her. And wow. Like, I remember going to see that one in the movie theater. Lots of people in the theater. You could hear pin drop. Very rarely will you have that happen in a theater. You could hear a literal pin drop because nobody was saying anything. They were just watching Salma Hayek.
Those hips, shit. I still have the image. I didn't even watch the whole movie. I just watched that clip. I just watched that one clip because her hips are amazing.
I do fast forward to that clip a lot. I'm just saying.
I feel like reasons. This is, if we were doing this in a few more years, Jennifer Lopez's Hustlers dances probably would be up there because I feel like she was real talented.
That to me, she did a great job.
She's better in her music videos, I think.
It definitely felt choreographed though. Like to me, it just felt choreographed.
Has she ever done like a dance scene in a movie?
Like not stripper scene?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Well, I mean, in Living Color, she was a fly girl.
That's not the same.
I saw her every week, Tammy. It counts.
It's like, it's ingrained in my head. Okay. You saw the 4 seconds that she was on the screen. But you don't, I was thinking about it. I was like, I don't remember her. Like,
I don't think so either, actually.
That sucks. Because she's so talented with her dancing. And
she's a great dancer.
That woman. Whew. I gotta go do a chair pose when I get off work. Get off with you guys.
And I also might throw in an extra one. Reservoir Dogs and Mr. Blonde's little ear dance. To me, that's a beautiful dance scene because he just does this little strut. It's not very talented necessarily.
That's an interesting choice.
But it makes me smile the whole time. I'm like, he's just cutting the cop's ear off and singing and dancing. It's just weird. To each their own. Everybody likes what they like, Amanda.
I'm not judging you.
Listener comment, like, okay, Tammy, tell me what you found from listeners. We put the topic in our Facebook group, and there were so many recommendations. Like, what's your favorite dance sequence? And I was shocked that people love dance so much. So what were the favorites that stood out to you, or what did you find?
I had, Sue Johnson and Paula Francine both picked Dirty Dancing, the final scene. Like, they put different gifts up, but I'm like, that whole final scene, that's fire,
It's iconic.
Yes. And then the one movie that my mom tried to make me not be able to watch, but I found a way because I found a VHS, Flashdance. I was like, Mom, I'm going to be a dancer. She's like, sweetie, go sit down, go eat your french fries.
I got something to tell you.
Why is she hanging a bucket of water over her head? I don't understand that. That's a weird thing.
Do you know how many kids in this neighborhood put buckets over their head because they wanted to be Flashdance back in the 80s? That was a great scene. So those are my two favorite. And the Flashdance came from Andrea Grissel. Never mind. But that person. Thank you.
Is it Andreas?
Andreas, yes.
Yeah, he's got one of mine. I'll get his name right when we get there. It's okay.
Thank you. Andreas, I apologize. As someone who fucks up my name all the time, I apologize.
Amanda?
Woman.
So the first one I thought was a really interesting choice and was a little bit unexpected. It comes from Alyssa White. She did Napoleon's dance in Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh my
and
God.
I have to say, as ridiculous as it is, I do love it. I do love it because it makes me laugh.
Chaw.
I don't think I've ever watched that movie.
Really?
I don't like that movie.
I've tried, and I'd rather go drink.
Yeah.
Somewhere else.
I'm starting to see a common theme here, by the way.
That's why, I usually don't keep alcohol in my house for a reason, but this quarantine, I can do whatever I want. It doesn't count.
That's funny.
FYI. But I never got into that movie. I have friends who will do quotes, and I'm like, oh, you're so cute. Let's go. So.
You just pretend like you were caring about what they had to say.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, okay. But I do know the dance. I've seen the clips of him. He danced like me. That's how I dance.
Oh, no.
I know.
Oh, no.
Okay? So,
no.
why should I watch the movie when he's already taken my life? So.
So my second one comes from Paula Sell, and she used The Greatest Showman, which has to be mentioned because there are some iconic performances in there. Everyone was so spectacular and just Hugh Jackman. I did not expect him to be that good.
The one that really stands out to me from that movie is him and Zac Efron at the bar, because they've got the shots and they have the shots timed to the beat, and it's like dun, dun, dun. It's wonderfully choreographed and it really, really flows. Smooth.
Yeah.
From Andreas Greihesel.
It sounds like maybe you didn't know you were getting it correct or not.
I don't know. Greihesel? What? Andreas, I love you. Thanks for listening. He's been a long time listener. Tropic Thunder. Tom Cruise's manic dance at the end credits is Les Grossman. I love that. It's so ridiculous and stupid. And it's the most Tom Cruise has ever branched out in his entire career. I mean, it's a bold, bold role for him.
I will say I'd agree with that.
I think I lost color when I found out that was Tom Cruise. When it first came, I was like, I paled. I was like, what? I didn't know. But I love that moment. I think it was everything. And then it was a MTV Movie Awards.
Yeah.
J-Lo danced together. I was like, he went with it. I loved it. I was just like, oh, damn it, Tom. I kind of like you now. Damn it.
It's hard not to, I mean, if he did more stuff like that, I really feel like he'd win a lot of people back. But he stopped taking chances and he started doing just the standard.
He stuck with
action
what
stuff.
makes him money.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, I get it.
I mean, you got to,
at the same time,
you got those Scientology donations, you got to make them.
Right?
All right.
Got bills to pay.
Last one, Amanda Spawn Oth. She says, favorite CGI dance sequence, Baby Groot and Guardians 2.
Yes.
Great one. That's a wonderful choice. And best live action, Kevin Bacon and Footloose. Can't not mention.
Footloose has to be mentioned.
Gotta cut loose. Put on Sunday shoes. Love that.
That soundtrack. Me and my sister played the hell out of that soundtrack. We didn't see the movie, but we played that
Doesn't matter.
soundtrack.
Doesn't matter.
No, we saw the movie later when it came on VHS, obviously, but we had the soundtrack first, and so then finally we're like, okay, now we can see the movie. My dad had to splice it, everything.
He's another rarity in that he's got rhythm. He's a rarity. Yeah. He's got rhythm. This guy was he's got 65, and a couple of years ago he was doing some interview with, I don't remember what talk show, and they asked him to do the Footloose dance, and he just did it, and he still got it. I mean, Kevin Bacon's got it. I don't. I wish he would loan it to me.
Oh, he's keeping that.
Yeah.
He's keeping it.
He's in pretty good shape. I feel like I'm 65. He feels like he's 40. All right. So any recent film or TV recommendations we haven't already talked about? Tammy, you can throw something out there if you have anything.
I think you guys talked about Warrior Nun. I haven't really watched that. I'm like 2 episodes away from the final, and I'm so enjoying it. I can't watch it all at once. I have to like let it marinate for me. But
when you get to that ending, I want to have a conversation with you, because that was my recommendation also, and I've got to finish the first season, and I really hope that they're going to renew it. And
they have
it has to. By the end, it has made so much progress. I will say that it does have some pacing problems throughout the story, but it finally gets to where it should have, like where they finally found their placing, their footing, and it turned into a really great story.
Okay, I'll let you know when I'm done. It should be in a couple of days, because I've been also I binged Lucifer because I thought Lucifer was coming back this week. I have another month. So, for weeks I've been watching Lucifer, so I can tell you all about the devil.
He is so charming.
Does he dance?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes, he
Dancing
does.
with the devil.
Every few episodes, he has a piano scene, a singing scene, and one of the last scenes in the season 4, he has like a dancing scene. So he's
cool.
He's always incorporating his musical side. So yes. Mm-hmm.
Mine was Warrior Nun.
Oh, okay. So we're both on the same page.
Yes, we are.
Okay, so the lead. Okay, I was sitting here watching. I'm like, who does she remind me of? Doesn't she remind you of Millie Bobby Brown?
Yes.
And I'm like,
I thought she looked really familiar too.
Yeah, I was like looking her up. I'm like, this is not who I thought it was, because I think she's, oh God, I forgot her name. But I was just like, she's not who I thought she was. It's a name that pop off. And then the other day I was talking to my friend, and she's like, you have to finish it. I'm like, I will. And I'm like, I watched 2 episodes today, but then I was like, Millie Bobby Brown. But she looks so much like Millie Bobby Brown, I'm afraid it'll hurt her over here. Because I'm like, please. Because she has her voice is not as, like, sorry, my voice can be high pitchy, where her voice is super low, and you don't expect it because she looks so like she'll have a high pitchy voice like me. And it's just, you're like, oh, wow.
Alba, but Baptista. And she's really turned and progressed with her character as the story's gone along. Like, I was genuinely impressed, because I thought she was going to be kind of like timid and just ornery and kind of annoying for a little while. And she did not. She grew. Like, she turned into a character that has a lot of, that like makes me feel hopeful for her, that you like want to know more about her story. You feel empathy for her. Yeah. She really did a lot with that character as it progressed.
Yeah, definitely, because I was like, the way her situation started, she could have whined a lot longer than she did. Once it was like, it was like 5 minutes of like, ah! And it was like, okay, you know what? I got new experiences to have. And I'm like, oh, okay, we're over this. And then she got her moment. And then she was like, okay, so next. And it was just like, she was very, like I said, she could have been whiny, but she wasn't. She was like, okay, so this is what we have to do. All right. I don't want to.
I can see her doing a lot more like big stuff.
Yeah, I really hope she gets more, or at least let this Netflix thing go through, because I think
Toya Turner, she plays the really yes, she is badass. She is so good. Yes. I love her.
There were some weird things with her hair, because one minute it was all like kind of frizzy, and all of a sudden it was just like beautiful braids. I was like,
she had her hair appointment in between.
Yes, I was like, how'd you get your hair done in between fight scenes? Because I've been trying to do mine. But I love Mary. I think she added to, I'm about to call her Millie Bobby Brown. She added to
Alba Baptista.
Alba is just like, they have great chemistry.
They do.
They can play off each other, and I really enjoy that. And that when when you sometimes you just can't watch TV, that was like very engaging for me because I was like, oh, I missed something. I will go rewind and watch them together. So they have great chemistry, and I hope that they do get like another season and everything. Yeah,
I'm sure they will.
I'm sure because Netflix doesn't have much going on.
What are you talking about? There's like 1,000 things.
Well, they can't produce anything. They can sign as much as they want, but nobody's filming.
That's true.
So,
I just watched their Fatal Affair. Did you guys watch that one?
No, I thought about watching it, but
who's that?
Nia Long is in it. She's like this. She's a married woman. She almost has this. She has like an almost affair with Omar Epps, and then Omar Epps is like, "You're mine," and goes crazy. And it's one of those like Lifetime, early '90s kind of stalker thrillers. Oh yeah, it's actually not bad, but it's cheesy.
I was gonna say, is this in a good or a bad way?
It's like if you want 90 minutes of fluff and psychos, it's for you. Yeah.
Okay.
I like those movies though. I mean, those are like a guilty pleasure.
Timmy's like, I'm into it.
I let Omar Epps stalk me. Sure. I mean,
Nia Long has not aged a day. She's what?
No, 50? She has not.
She's 50 and she looks younger than me. And I'm like,
she's 50 fine. That's what she is.
I hate you. Gorgeous bitch.
What was it? I remember Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Wasn't she on that for a while?
Yeah.
She's been around forever.
Yeah.
The Best Man movies. She was in those.
Mm-hmm. Boys in the Hood. That's what she got started.
She's been acting for a long time.
The one movie I auditioned for? Well, second movie I auditioned for.
Which is what?
Boys in the Hood and the Michelle Pfeiffer movie.
Dangerous Liaisons?
Yes.
Did you really?
I got a call back, but there was an earthquake and I couldn't go.
Oh my goodness.
So it was my first and only callback, and I got a callback, but they were like, we're only going to pick a few people, but thank you. I was like, oh, fuck.
Ouch. So. Which movie was the callback?
Dangerous Liaisons. Because I was like, you left me out in the sun for how long? And so I was a bitch. So that's what I get.
That's too bad.
And they were like, we like your fire. I was like, oh, cool. And they were like, come back. And then Northridge earthquake happened, and I couldn't go. So.
Well, this podcast just got really sad.
No, don't be sad.
You could have been.
I enjoyed my few moments as an actress. Because every person who lives in LA, I was born and raised here. I'm not a transplant, and I did my acting thing. So I moved on in life, and it's all good. I appreciate.
You could have been in a Coolio video, though.
I know. Don't think I don't look at that video like that could have been me. Yeah, I met John Singleton right before he did Boys in the Hood, and he won our acting crew. I was at Marla Gibbs acting school, and he had us all audition.
That's fantastic.
So he was all about the community, so he even went to the acting schools over there. So there we go.
That's a great story. Thanks for sharing that.
You're welcome.
You know what? You can also share your thoughts in this episode or anything else in our Facebook group, The Hollywood Outsider. We're on Twitter at BuyPopcorn. Our site is TheHollywoodOutsider.com. Again, last chance for the podcast awards. It's podcastawards.com. You can find all the information there. There's info on the site if you need help reminding how to do it. And please rate and subscribe us if you're on Apple Podcasts or whatever, Spotify. If you can rate us, that would be greatly appreciated. You can find John's artwork on Insta and Twitter at RJohnDraws, Amanda on Veronica's Marshmallows and Smirk, and at Sink Into This, and me on The Blacklist Exposed, and Presenting Hitchcock, which our Psycho episode for the 60th anniversary is coming out in a week. So it'll be out at the 1st of August. So definitely check that out. It's a lot of fun. And I'm also at Aaron Smirks. But before we go, Tammy, it's the HO Teachable Minute. You get to tell us in 1 minute or less something you learned from film or television this past week.
I'm going to suggest to everyone, when your friend says, look up love, and you think it's a TV show and you're having an argument, and then when you finally find the right love that she's talking about, and it's a very serious sex scene the first 30 seconds, make sure you're alone. So it's not the TV show with Gillian Jacobs. It is the 2015, what's his name? Something Knoll film. Oh yeah, that first 2.5 minutes. Whoa.
Is it like porn level?
It's porn level.
Ooh.
It is so explicit.
Who were you with?
Who? Where's this
Who was I
at?
with?
Who am I?
Yeah, well, you were watching this.
Where do I
I
stream
was
it?
by myself, but my friend kept saying, no, it's not. I was like, no, Love is with the girl from Community. She's like, no, that's not it. I said, it's a TV show. I argued with her. And she goes, Tammy, go on Netflix. And I mean, we never argue. And I was like, fine. And I was like, oh. I was like, how long does this go on? It went on for a while.
Wow.
So always ask who's in the film. And when you're not sure, don't argue. Just use your Google's free.
Did you watch? Did you watch the whole thing though?
Did I watch the whole thing?
Uh-huh.
Don't ask those questions.
Did you learn any new tricks?
Oh no, I had to teach them. But the movie, I actually okay, once I got past it, I was like, okay, what is this movie about? I couldn't actually get into the movie. The movie was put me to sleep. It was just like, ugh. But
After that part, right?
yes,
Yeah.
That scene is what the movie is going on? So
Well, I could tell you what was going on. They taught this in sex ed class.
yes, but sometimes you know,
Not in Catholic school,
that's-
though.
I went to public school. We did all kinds of things. But that was an eye opener because you weren't expecting it on Netflix. But apparently, as an American, I have issues.
Isn't there? There's also a movie. What was it? 365 Days.
365. Yeah.
Isn't he holding this woman hostage and trying to make her his girlfriend
Yes.
or something?
He kidnaps her, and I couldn't get past that. You know, everyone's like the sex scene. I'm like, listen. Okay, I read a lot of fanfic, and I do it because it's fun for me.
Uh-huh.
I read, and this reminded me of Twilight fanfic, and Edward was a mobster because there's all types of variation of fanfic, and I was like, how does this man kidnap her to make her fall in love with him?
Mm-hmm.
And my friends are like, not my friends, but the people I knew on the internet were like, but you guys see the sex scene. I'm like, there's no reason for me to watch this. I've already read shit like this. I'm sorry. It's not even worth it. And then this is the best part I heard about this whole entire film. There's a trilogy of books.
Oh, goody. It's like
There's
50,
gonna be more.
50 Shades of
Oh, wow.
Kidnaps.
Yes, it's 50 Shades, which came from Twilight fanfic.
Yeah. Don't watch that movie. I tried to watch it and I'm like, wait, what's the plot? What? Because a friend recommended that and said, you should definitely check it out. You're going to like it. And I was so mad. I'm like, what about this made you think I would like this? This is a horrible, I mean, I don't want to kidnap a woman for 365 days. That's a long time to have to be going down to the cage and feeding them and everything else. It's such a weird
Listen
plot.
to them talk,
I know.
everything that comes with it.
My favorite thing is the reaction video to that movie of this guy saying, please don't do what this guy did because you will go to jail. He's like, that was kidnapping. And he's like, the sex scenes were great, but you will go to jail. I don't know how to, it was one of the best reactions I had seen.
That is a federal crime. That's what that is.
Exactly. I was like, It was, wow. I'm surprised someone recommended it to you. Maybe you have that kind of face.
They love. That's fair. I don't think I have anything more to say. You know what, guys? That's going to do it for this episode. Thanks, Tammy, for being here. Appreciate it. You're always fun to have. So thanks for coming by.
Thank you for having me. It was great seeing you both and
It's so good to see you.
It's good to see you. I'm sorry we missed each other in March. It wasn't my fault.
No, it was South by. It wasn't their fault either. It was the stupid COVID.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yes. And hopefully we'll see each other in 2021, maybe 2022.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
My fingers are crossed and my toes.
I'll be there drunk because there will be an open bar by the time I show up.
And remember, the next time you head to a theater to buy Tammy a drink, buy popcorn.
That's what you have to do.
Hey, I'm not going to do outtakes on this one, but what I am going to do is kind of leave on a very positive note for me. See, it's been quite a hectic time going here at the old podcast. With COVID and everything else, a lot of people that have been doing this for a long time, it can be hard to even come up with material because of everything that's going on. There's no movies in theaters anymore. So it's kind of hard for a movie and TV podcast sometimes. But we've been going. We've been trying to keep you guys entertained. I hope you've been enjoying the podcast. And because of all that, or because of just general niceties, my co-host Amanda Sink actually went and got me something that I wanted to share. Just a little piece. I'm not sharing the whole thing with you, but I'm sharing a piece with you guys, which is, I'm a huge fan of Psych, the TV show. You guys know that. It's like the movie 2 just came out. So she went to Cameo, which is a site you can go to and get special messages from your favorite celebrities, and had Dulé Hill, who plays Gus, give a little message to myself, as well as the Hollywood Outsider podcast he threw in there. So I just wanted to share a little piece of that with you and leave on a wonderful note. And if you don't like this, I don't know what to tell you, but suck it.
What's happening, Aaron? How is everything, man? We finally get a chance to meet. I know that you had tickets for the meet and greet at the Chicago Comic-Con, and that got canceled. And then you had an interview that was scheduled with me and Rodé, but that got postponed. So here we are, man, sending you blessings, sending you love, sending you all of those good things. Hope all is well out there. Much love to the Hollywood Outsider podcast. Much love to you. Psychos are the best. Psychos are the best. And once again, Aaron, I'm going to say, suck it. Good boy, son. You know that's right. We'll catch on up, man. Blessings to you. I hope this message puts a smile on your face, and hopefully, by God's grace, one day we can actually meet in person, or at least have the interview. We can make it happen. All righty? All the best to you. Much love to you, man. Later.